Okay. So tonight I wanted to speak to you about the Parashat of Lech Lecha. I love the Sefer Bereshit because there's so many stories. Even when you're a teacher, it's like the best parasha that you can teach, like to your kids, the best sefer. It's like only stories and cool things happening. And this parasha is really, really interesting. It starts with Avraham Avinu. It tells us about Avraham, and suddenly we discover him, and he's already 75 years old. It's my son. He's already 75 years old. And you're like, whoa, listen, Avraham Avinu, we speak about him, like in Sefer Bereshit, there is 50 chapters, 50 פרקים, שמדברים על אברהם אבינו. 50 chapters we speak about אברהם אבינו. No, sorry, 15 פרקים in the whole Sefer Bereshit. On these 50 פרקים, 40 prakim we speak about Avraham Avinu. 40 out of 50. The only 10 prakim we don't speak about him, it's at the beginning of Bereshit when we tell about the creation of the world and Noach and whatever happens. And then last week's parasha, we're starting to hear about this Avraham who was walking. He was already kind of involved, in the towers in the Migdal Bavel. We kind of hear about him, but that's it. All the stories that you know about Avraham when he was a child and at 3 years old he discovered Hashem, all this it's midrash, it's agada, it's like it's not like written in the Torah word for word. That's all stories that we heard. It's not something that's written. When we start talking about Avraham, the first time it's now, it's this parasha. We see he's already 75 years old. What happened all these years?
He got matured. Now he could.
Yeah, suddenly boom, you skip. And then it's really interesting. What do we hear? Are we introduced to Avraham Avinu? We see Hashem tells him, Lech Lecha me'artzecha, mimolatecha, mibet avicha. Get out, leave your father, the house of your father, your land, your birthplace, leave everything. I want you to go now, and if you do that, I promise you I will give you barachot, like I will give you blessings. I will give you, whoever curses you, I will curse them. Whoever blesses you, I will bless them. It's like I will give you a huge nation, you will have kids, and this, and that. It's like amazing. Suddenly all you have to do is leave. Wow, so what does it mean that you have to leave in order to receive all these blessings, all these brachot? What does it really mean? So let's look into the word. What does it really mean? Artzecha, molatecha, and bet avicha. Artzecha, the shoresh, the root is ratzon, the will. Hashem is asking Avraham, leave your will. A person always has this bad will that prevents the person from doing good deeds. Like an easy example, you're laying down in the morning, you're supposed to go to shul, and you don't go to shul because it's just easier to lay down in bed, Or like you're going with all your friends and you're like in this restaurant and everyone is drinking, let's say, non-kosher wine, and you're like, whatever, there's no will to stop this. There's no will to say, no, I'm going to do it. It's easy. The first one is, like retzon. Our eretz comes from ratzon, the will. You have to overcome your will. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to push yourself or just you want to just, take it easy? The second one is molatecha. Molatecha is what? Your birthplace. When we say your birthplace, we're talking about people around you. Who's around you? Who was in your birthplace? Who is influencing you? Every time when you're like living in like a certain area or you hang out with certain people, they influence you. That's why, for example, we say about addicts, drug addicts. We say if they go back to their hood, right, to the people where they were hanging out with, they're always going 99% chances of going back and doing drugs again. Why? Because you're very influenced. Most people are very influenced. Look at the media. Look at now, like we were talking about the elections, how people are influenced. Whatever we tell them, right? Even without even realizing. I was looking at this Israeli hypnotizer, or I don't know, we call him like magician guy. Forgot his name, and he was on this show, and he told everyone.
Yeah.
What's his name? He was so good.
I forgot his name, but yes, he was so good.
Yeah, so this guy.
He's a mentalist.
Yeah, a mentalist.
Yeah, how everybody made the circle
Shusa? The
and
star.
Yes.
So basically the guy, he was telling people, I want everyone to draw something. And then he started drawing things, and he showed people, he said, look at this, look at this, look at this. Okay, now draw something, but don't draw this. There were, hundreds of people in the audience. Everyone drew the same thing. Everyone drew a star.
Wow.
People were like, whoa, how did he do it? And then he explained that every time he was doing a drawing, one was an S, one was a T, one was an A, and one was an R. So people just
But it was like upside down.
exactly, it was upside down or whatever, but people, like, without even noticing, they were influenced by that. And then when he told them to draw something, everyone did the same thing. And what people was like, whoa, how did he do that? But it was very simple, because you have to recognize that power of your birthplace. That's the influence, people around you. So you have to know, who do you want to surround yourself with? Who do you want around you, you know? And then the third one is Bet Avicha, the house of your father. And we see the Zohar says, when we say the father, we speak about logic. It doesn't mean that women are not logic, it's just that that's how it is represented. It's like the logic, the authority of the father represents logic by the Zohar. What is logic is sometimes people, they have a certain logic. They grew up a certain way, and it's really difficult for them to budge from this. It's very difficult for them to accept that there may be a different logic, you know, to life, a different view on life, a different appreciation. They're really stuck on their thing, you know, and you can fight with them all day. It's blue, no, you know, like the dress. Some were saying it's a gold dress, some were saying no, it's like a blue dress, but it was the same dress. Some people, they're like really stubborn. Even if you prove to them the correct color, they won't want to change. So in order to change, in order to become a different person, you have to be able to work on these three things. Your will, the influence of others, and your logic. Be able to break that logic if it's the wrong one. Of course, if it's a good logic, then keep it. But we're talking about if it's a wrong logic. And look at emunah. What's emunah? What's belief in Hashem? What is to have emunah? It's something that you don't see. It's something that is not logical. I'm telling you, believe in Hashem. Do you see Him? No. Do you? But believe it. You know what? Go for 8 days in the sukkah. Go outside. Put like this, like trees and palm trees on top of your head and eat outside. But why? You know, because God is going to bless you, because God did it. You have to actually break your logic to believe something like that, right? It's the opposite of logic. And that's what like the parasha is asking from us. Now the Zohar is giving us a different interpretation. The Zohar says, and you're Israeli woman, so you will be able to say that even better than me. How do you translate really Lecha? Lecha. How do you translate it? To you. Thank you. If it was for you, how would you translate it? Bishvilcha.
Bishvilcha.
Yeah. Or shelcha. Shelcha belongs to you. Yeah, bishvilcha. But Hashem tells Avraham something really interesting. He tells him, Lech Lecha. If you translate it, it says, go to you. What does it mean, go to you? Because Hashem is really asking Avraham, he says, forget about your birthplace. Forget about your father's house. Forget about
What is the birthplace?
Haran.
Where is that right now?
Canaan. It's it's like in Yerushalayim, not at all, sorry. It's like on the side, I don't know how to explain. If I have a map, I can show you. It's kind of
Next to what? Egypt,
next to the south.
Iran, next to Syria, what?
Next to the southeast. Closer to like Mesopotamia. Like towards
Egypt.
Iran. No.
לא. איג'פט זה למטה, ירדן למעלה, היא מתכוונת יותר לכיוון סוריה.
כן, כיוון סוריה. If I have a card, לא, זה לא בסוריה.
זה איפה שהחלבים.
אוקיי.
No, okay. I have to go check and I'll show you in the card. I'll show you in the card because it's hard for me. I don't like this. So Hashem is telling him, go to yourself. What is yourself? What is inside yourself? Hashem is asking him, now that you disconnect yourself from whatever is around you, you can really build yourself. As long as you're at your father's house, you're still influenced by others. You're still influenced by what's around you. And his father was like one of the best, like a priest who was doing idols all day long. Hashem was like, there's no way you can grow there. You have to disconnect yourself. And we see that in life. Sometimes in order to grow, you have to disconnect yourself from some places or from some people. Sometimes you have to disconnect yourself like emotionally, physically, intellectually. You have to be able to take some distance, some space in order to better grow. Now, when we say go to yourself, what's really yourself? It's when you look into yourself, what do you see? Your essence. What is your essence? It's your neshama. Your core, exactly. You're connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're connecting to Hashem. So really what Hashem was telling Avraham Avinu is that you want the bracha, you want to get the blessings, you want to grow. The only way a person can do that is when they first do an introspection, when they look within themselves, when they find themselves, when they disconnect from the rest, and then they can actually reconnect better because now they know who they are. And that's really important. People in life, sometimes they throw themselves in things like, and then they lose themselves, and then it doesn't work. Why? Because first, know who you are. Connect yourself to the source, and then you'll be able to move on and to grow. And Hashem is telling us that everyone is capable of such a change. It's not something that is like unattainable. Everyone can actually change. There was this chassid who was telling his rabbi, it was like a Lubavitcher rabbi, he was always asking him, please, please, I want to see Eliyahu Navi. He was fasting, he was trying so many things. His dream was to see Eliyahu Navi. So at some point, his rabbi called him and says, you know what, you want to see Eliyahu Navi? You will. I will tell you where he is. You have to go now to this village, and he gave you the name of a village. You go to the village, you count 3 houses from the entrance of the city, and you bring food with you. And you take the food, you put it outside of the door, and then you leave, you stay on the side, and then you watch, and you'll see Eliyahu Navi. So the chassid is excited. Can you imagine? He's going to see Eliyahu Navi. He goes, he prepares food, he runs, he finally counts, he finds the sign that the rabbi told him, he puts the food. He goes on the side, he waits, he sees a woman who opens the door, she doesn't understand, and she sees the food, she takes the food inside, she closes the door. Okay? He goes back to the rabbi and he says, that's what happened. I mean, I didn't see Eliyahu Navi. The rabbi says, you have to do it again. Go back, put the food, wait, and you'll see Eliyahu Navi. He goes back, puts the food, he waits, same story. The woman comes out, takes the food, puts it inside, and nothing happens. The 3rd time, he goes to the rabbi, he says, Rabbi, I'm doing everything the way you said it. I don't see Eliyahu Navi. He said, this time, you're going to go very slowly, you're going to watch at the window, but make sure they don't see you. So he goes, he puts the food, he waits, the door opens, the woman puts the food inside, then he goes slowly, he looks at the window, and the woman says, kids, look, Eliyahu Navi sent us the food. And now he understands. He was able to be, at that moment, Eliyahu Navi. Sometimes we all have these ideals and these things, and this rabbi. Everything is within yourselves. Everything, you just have to find it. You just have to look for it.
Is it como Santa Claus?
Yeah. They must have heard that story. So, and that story teaches us something else that is very interesting. How do you really change? You really change only through actions. Talking about it doesn't help. How many books can you read? Honestly, I know a lot of people, they read, and you talk to them, they can tell you, he wrote this, and this rabbi wrote this, and this rabbi wrote that. But in their lives, you're not inspired when you're next to them, because they actually don't even do anything. Or they know everything, but they don't do anything. Knowing is not enough. You actually have to put it into action. And it really, interestingly, look at the parasha. Hashem keeps giving Avraham things to do. Get out of your home, go to Israel. And then he tells him, do the Brit Milah. And then he goes to Mitzrayim, right? And he goes down, and there's a famine, and go find food with Paro, and do this, and do that. And Avraham doesn't stop. He keeps giving him orders and things to do. Why does Hashem needs to give him so many things to do? And the reason is very simple. When Hashem gives us mitzvot, mitzvah comes from a language of tzavta v'chibur, a connection. HaKadosh Baruch Hu really wants us to connect with Him. By giving us a mitzvah, by giving us something to do, we actually are able to connect with Hashem. And we see that, for example, with your kids. Like, for example, my daughter. I want to connect with her. So one thing I do, we have our weekly, monthly, we go once a month, only her and me, to a restaurant. We choose a restaurant, she chooses one. I sit down, I talk to her, I listen to her. We do an action, we do something together, and we get closer. And then I do that with my son. Same story. With the kids, you want to do something, that's what they say, right? family that prays together stays together. If you want to stay together, if you want to connect with people, you have to do something with them. That's the only way it works. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when He gives them mitzvot, it's not like, oh, we have 613 mitzvot, why is doing that? It's just because Hashem wants to find different ways to connect with us. And every mitzvah connects in a different way. For example, one mitzvah will connect with our spiritual, go to Yom Kippur and don't eat and pray. So it's very spiritual. We connect with Hashem on a spiritual level. And another mitzvah will be just take the lulav and shake it. This is very, with your hands. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving us this safta v'chibur, this connection with Him, that we are able to connect through the mitzvot. That's the only reason why He's giving us mitzvot. Now, looking at Avraham Avinu, we see he's getting all this mitzvot. We see that he's doing all this mitzvot. And what happens to him? What happens to him?
He needs to לעקוד את יצחק.
Thank you. He gets tested and challenges. How many tests does he get, Avraham Avinu? How many ניסיונות?
שלא ישמעו.
How many? 10. Non-stop. And we can ask ourselves, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give Avraham Avinu so many tests, so many challenges? And the real question I'm sure you're asking yourself now is why Hashem is giving in general many challenges. Why do we suffer? Is there anyone here who doesn't have some kind of, one is parnasa, one is kids, one is this, one is that? Everyone has always something that they have, something difficult to challenge. And why HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving us that? What's the reason? Avraham Avinu is doing everything. He's doing this, what?
שלא ישעמם לו.
Close to that. So the first thing is that we see that when we have these struggles, when we have these challenges, there's only two ways to react. One person may overcome it and win, the challenge, or one person may fail and say, you know what, I can't take it anymore. There's only two ways, the way you approach it. When you realize that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending you is Hashgacha Pratit, that it's God who's sending it to you. It's not a mistake if that happened to you. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, that you deserve it. No. It means that it was supposed to happen to you. Why? Let's look at why. First idea why. It's because we explained that you have to connect, remember, to your core, to your neshama, to your power within yourself. Lech Lecha. Go to yourself. Go inside yourself. And a person, usually like they say in English, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? Most people, usually, they just would be just so laid back, so relaxed. It's okay, everything is fine, everything is good. Why do I need to go pray 3 times a day to shul? Why do I need to do this? And why do I need to do that? People usually, if you don't sometimes, shake them a little bit, they take it easy. So sometimes a challenge comes to force the person to touch, their core, to force the person to reach their potential. We need that challenge to make sure the person looks into themselves and tries, to overcome it. So it pushes the person to be a better person. You have to call upon all your spiritual resources to actually overcome this challenge. The second idea we can see when we have a challenge or a test is that in the process of winning, Be'ezrat Hashem, of overcoming the challenge, the person recognizes that they cannot actually do anything without the help of Hashem. That's as simple as that. And when they recognize that, there is this nitzutzot of Kedusha, this sparkle of spirituality, this sparkle we see when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. A lot of if you want how you say that in English? La clochette, I can say it in French.
מה?
Oh. The thing that flies and has feather all over.
פיות?
In Peter Pan.
Fairy tale. Sparks.
Sparkling or clochette, clochette?
זה חיה קטנה, זה שעושה
זה הפייה, זה כמו
This little woman, Tinkerbell.
פייה.
תודה רבה.
פייה.
Fairy
I've learned a new word. A fairy.
A fairy, yeah.
The fairy who goes and has
It's
a
the
magic
fairy
dust?
dust, yes,
Exactly.
the
So just have this image. We have there's this magic dust in the world. And when you work on yourself, when you try to touch your core, what are you doing? You're basically returning the sparks, this nitzutzot, back to where they belong. And when all the sparks will be back where they belong, Mashiach will be able to come, where we repair the world. So the way to do that is when a person has actually all the energy the person is going to put into overcoming the challenge, all this energy is into realizing that God is with you. And that's why, look at Avraham Avinu. His name was what? Avram. And he's becoming Avraham. Once Avraham Avinu went through these steps, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu was with him. We add the he to his name. Because the only way he realized that the only way he can overcome all the tests, all the challenges, is Hashem is with him. So that's why one of the reasons why we say why Avraham Avinu turned around in Eretz Israel is because he went and wherever he would find the sparkles, the sparks, this nitzutzot, he would actually do the work and make sure it goes where they belong. So we see that through the work, a person can always be stopped. And Avraham Avinu, it's not for any reason that he went to Mitzrayim. Why Mitzrayim? Because if you play with the word and the vowels, nekudot, instead of reading in Mitzrayim, you read it Metzarim. Metzarim is what? Boundaries, it's limitation. Avraham Avinu, it was actually, we learned something really good. He found his limitation. What are the limitations? What we said before. Molatecha, achzecha, and bet avicha. Your limitation could be the will, the influence of people around you, and this logic, this bet avicha, this logic that sometimes stops you from growing, stops you from making the necessary efforts to advance in life. So when we see that the only time Mashiach will come is that if we work on ourselves and we push ourselves, being like this and waiting, that doesn't work. The only thing that really has brings results into the world and makes Mashiach come faster and closer is that if we push ourselves, if we leave our metzarim, if we leave our limitations, if we leave our birthplace, get out. Don't stay where you are. And that's the difference. Noach stayed in the teva. Noach was fine, right? He was in his boat, his family was safe, he was okay with it. Avraham Avinu is different. Avraham Avinu is out. He's going. He's talking to people. He's trying to bring people closer to Torah, to mitzvot. Actually, at this time, they weren't really technically Torah mitzvot. It was more of telling people, spiritual, that there is one God. Believing there is one God.
Monotheism. Monotheism.
Monotheism. Yes. You
One
know
God,
what?
monotheism.
I didn't say it because I tried to say it at home and I was like, one God.
Like mono.
It was just faster.
Monotheism.
And that's why Avraham is called Ivri. Ivri, because the basic reason is because we said he was from Me'ever. He was from the other side of the river, right? But the really deeper reason is that Ivri, he was on one side of the world and the rest of the world was on the other side. He was alone against everyone. He was the only one who believed that HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually existed. It was anyone who believed that there was only one God and etc. And you had to thank him and so on. So he was Ivri, the term Ivri, and we got this actually name after that from him. It comes from that he was alone. And until today, look at the Jewish people. We're always alone against the whole world. Our values are not the same. Nothing is the same if you look at ourselves. Look at the story of Purim. A man understood that really well. He went to see Achashverosh. He said, there is one people, and they're different, and they don't do the same holidays, and they don't eat with us, and they don't do this, and they don't do that. It was very easy. Everyone knew who it was. There's only sorry, always us, always the Jewish people. That's Ivri. We're always on one side of the world. And that's the power of a Jew. Is even if you're on the other side of the world, you can always swim your way, through the river, and you can always reach the other side, and you can bring people with you, and you can save them. So, to really answer that question, why do we have the challenges in life? It's because challenges help us grow. They make us grow. They make us become a better person. They make us become someone that we didn't even know, something we didn't know we had within ourselves. Like I know this person who was unfortunately sick. She was diagnosed with the bad machala, and suddenly everyone around her, there is a WhatsApp group, and everyone is doing every day. We complete at least between everyone 2 times the healing every day. Trust me, there's no time in the day. But when someone is sick, chas v'shalom, and suddenly you find this time to pray. You find this time to 5 Tehillim, and then by the end of the day you finish 2 Tehillim books. It's huge. It's huge. That's sad when, of course, there are sickness. And it's not like we want chas v'shalom this, chas v'chalila, no. But that's the positive way of looking at it. Now, when you have your problems, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives problems to people that are like, if you want, personalized. One challenge for one person is not maybe going to help someone else. Everyone has their own challenge because it's a challenge that is, that will help you become better. And it's really specific to you and only you. And we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he gives that to Avraham Avinu, at the same time, we say he already gives Avraham Avinu the secret, the medicine. We say in Tehillim, David HaMelech says, Rabod ra'ot tzadik ubikulam yatzilenu adam. A tzaddik suffers a lot. He gets a lot of suffering, a lot of challenges, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu will save him from everything. And who says that? David HaMelech. Look at his life. Who was David HaMelech? His father rejected him. He was almost killed by Shaul. His kids rebelled against him. His son raped his daughter. Should I go on?
That's enough.
I think that's enough as far as challenges, and there's more. But he's the one who said that. He's the one who reads, was singing Tehillim to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's the one who merited that we say, David Melech Israel, Chai v'Kayam. He's forever our king, forever alive. Because he attained such a high level, instead of crying on everything that happened to him, he actually tried to overcome, to fight, and to learn from it and to grow from it. And that's the way we should look at everything that is sent our way. That's what we learn from Lech Lecha. That's the Lech Lecha. Go to yourself. That's why Hashem selected this exact word. And that is why Avraham Avinu, we don't hear anything about him until he's 70 years old. Because when you're a child who's 3 years old, and suddenly you realize that your mommy and your papi are bigger and stronger than you, this is somewhat natural. It's nothing special. But when you're 75 years old, and then at 75 years old, I'm asking you, leave your father, leave your land, leave your birthplace, now go, now look into yourself, now connect with me, now do a Brit Milah, now do this, now do that, and you still do it, and you overcome it, and you become this better person, then you're not just Avraham, you become Avraham Avinu. That's what gives you the zchut, the merit, to become the father of the whole generation that will go forward. And that's really something very powerful that we learn from this parasha. That's the real miracle that we learn that happened to Avraham. So I'm really wishing for everyone that HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps you to overcome all your challenges, that you look within yourself, that you find one mitzvah, that will be this tzavta bechibur, there will be this connection that will connect you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that will help you, Be'ezrat Hashem, receive all these brachot and all this miracle. And may everyone who curses you be cursed, and everyone who blesses you be blessed. But remember always, look, it's all how you look at it. It's how you look at it. I'm sure you all know that story of this lady who kept complaining to her husband that the neighbor's house, that when she was washing her clothes, the clothes were really dirty. She kept complaining. And one day the husband realized that it's not the clothes of the neighbor that were dirty. It's the window that was always dirty. Their window. So when she was looking at it, she was looking at her own dirt. And the Rebbe always said that if you only look at someone and you see only what's wrong with them, it means there's something that you need to fix within yourself. But if you look and then you want to help and then you want to advance and then you also want to grow with them, then you're on the right way. And that's why Kadosh Baruch Hu sent you. Just take this sparkle, of that Hashem sent you and bring it back and elevate it. So
שרה, זה אומר חצי שעה, זה קצר מדי.
סיפור של
30 דקות זה אומר, זה קצר מדי.
זה קשור.
You need to continue.
תהיו בשקט, תוכלו לשמוע. לא נראו קליטה. אתם תוכלו לראות, אבל... Some call me nature.